What are you doing with this beached whale in the garage?
We're gonna do an engine swap.
An engine swap? What are you putting in, a big block?
No, same one it came with.
All right, let's take a look at what this thing is. Let's take a look at what's wrong with this thing.
This thing uses oil like it uses gas. I don't know if there's some bad rings, probably some bad oil rings. We got the heads redone, so we know it's not the valves. Not sure how bad it's worn in there, so decided to just get a crate engine and swap everything out. So this is a GMT 400, 1990 K2500 Scottsdale Chevy pickup.
All right, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive, because it's a K.
8-foot box on the back.
It's a 7200 GVW. Anyway, so we got the L05 engine over here. This is a crate engine they picked up. Turned out to be, I believe, cheaper than we estimated it would be to get an engine rebuilt for it. So
yeah, I really wanted a short block because I have the heads redone, but I could not find a short block anywhere.
Yeah, for this at least, because you can find the upgrade ones, but then you need to get different heads and all the different stuff that's not going to fit. So
right. Well, the first step is I'm going to pull the front end off with the radiator and AC condenser and grill and bumper and headlights, and I think that'll let the engine come out easier based on what I've seen. So I'm trying to get the bumper off.
Are you succeeding?
The top ones came loose.
So one of the problems we've been having with the truck is that the truck didn't come with AC originally. It was some kind of later add-on. There was a weird compressor in here in a little bracket, and it was kind of janked up. So we kind of did a halfway conversion out to the factory condenser, but that had to go to kind of like a different, what was it, heater core or something?
The problem was the factory hoses don't fit on this system, and we have no idea what the system is.
Some conversion.
So we'd have a guy come out and make custom hoses for it, and then the connections leaked. So I don't know if he did something wrong, or if he didn't oil them right, or...
So part of your project with the engine swap is to actually install the correct factory parts, right? So you can just go to a parts store, just buy the parts.
I got a replacement heater box from the junkyard.
Yeah.
And then put new heater and AC coils in it, just because. If I have it out, I might as well do that.
This is the Colorado bumper, right?
Yeah,
replace the
this
rear
is
one.
the original one. Yeah. I think I found out why the AC was leaking. This O-ring, which was supposed to be up here, was down there, and it was crushed on the inside.
Wow. That's an easy one, huh? Easy diagnosis.
Well, the guy just didn't put it in right, you know. It should have been pushed all the way in there.
Always nice to find a smoking gun.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm not reusing this. That one's got 2 different sized bolt heads, so...
This one?
Yeah.
Nice. Classy. Find anything weird yet?
Well, there was an oil cap on top of the skid plate.
Must have dropped in there when we were filling her up at some point. And it ain't dropping on the ground.
No, it isn't. I think it was, but I changed the oil cooler lines, and then it really cleaned up the engine bay. I think this is the last bolt for this front clip.
Bolt's kind of in there, isn't it?
Yep.
Find anything weird?
Found a key over there on that side. I don't know what that's not a truck key, is it?
It could be.
Might be. That's a house key for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Those are nasty. What's on
I think
those?
isn't that some conductive grease?
Never seen it before. Got a white thing here. Okay, last thing.
Else?
That might be it. Okay, we got them all. Oh my gosh. This thing's big. I'll just set it here for now. Is that it for today?
Yep.
Got a new toy over here, didn't you?
Yeah. Very nice, isn't it? She rotates
Oh, crap, that's bright. Got 2 modes on her. Okay.
That's if you don't want to do a good job, and that's if you want to do a good job. So I couldn't find any tags with zip ties on them. So I'm just going to zip tie her through like this, see?
You really got these tags on everything, don't you?
Yep.
Alt. Is this the alt right or the alt left?
That's the alt ground.
Alt center. All right. That water pump sure did rust up, didn't it?
Yeah. She'll get pour 15. Ready to take this off, I just got to hook the gas lines.
We dragged the truck outside so we'd have room to put our engine hoist here. Now we gotta take the hood off to make room for all the attachments we got up here. Well, I'm going down to Red Wing again, so I'm gonna leave you at the camera.
Okay.
Think you can handle this yourself, taking this engine out?
We'll see. The only thing I gotta do is snake the gas lines through, I think.
Oh, are these hard or soft?
Hard.
Okay. Cool. Have a good time.
We got her out. Lost a little coolant, but that's okay.
How'd the engine pull go?
Went very well.
Nice. Looks like it took you a few hours.
It actually took an hour.
Okay, okay, not too bad. What are you doing now?
Scraping off grease, and then I'm gonna spray some degreaser on and power wash it.
All right. And you said later on you were gonna drop this axle, right?
Yep. All right, we got the new crate engine here. Starting to get it unpacked. Starting to take off some of the stuff off the old engine. So here is the engine mount bracket from one side. I have painted the other side engine mount bracket and put it on. I've also taken the rusty old water pump, which was new, I think last year, and I didn't paint it when I put it on. So got that painted up and set in there. I'm still waiting on a gasket set before I torque her down. Doing one side of the old engine at a time, taking off stuff, getting it painted, and then putting it back on so I get it all in the same order. So, all right, let's work on getting this wheel well out of here. Got a lot of 13 mil bolts. There's a wheel well. I'm going to attempt to take out the front diff and axle. So we're going to take out the CV axle here first. There's, I think, 6 bolts.
Can you see through those wires?
Oh yeah.
This whole bracket, mounting bracket will not come off, it seems. So we're gonna have to pull the axle off that and then pull this off afterward. It's touching the center link. Even after pulling this bracket out, we're loose on this side, but this bushing up here is hitting our center link. So we're gonna try to pop this center link or the idler arm off. Hopefully that'll give us enough wiggle room here to move this out of the way, and we can drop the front axle down. It's really close. It's like 2 mils off, I think. Pull it your way a little bit, if you can. Okay, drop down. Okay. It's all the way out. Well, it doesn't look that bad, but this will give us a lot better access to the pinion seal. Are you happy with your progress?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had this stuff off and I could start working on the frame, I'd really be happy.
Yeah, I hear that. There's a lot more pieces on this thing than on Mouse or Saab or...
Well, the four-wheel drive adds a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
The old bracket on the brake, off the brake booster is pretty rusty. Well, I'm waiting on some tools, so in the meantime, I'm just pulling a few things off.
And the tools are just for your getting your axles out, so you can pull the suspension apart.
And the drain plug off the transmission.
All right. Did you find anything out about the condition of the paint in here?
The paint underneath the cab is just perfect. We gotta clean some more
Painting.
Ew.
Gross. Are you gonna clean this master up, or?
No, I'm just gonna throw it right back in like this.
I mean, you're not gonna replace it.
No, I'm gonna clean it up.
Yeah. You gonna take that bracket off and get it powder coated?
Yeah, we'll see. Here we have the torsion bar, and we need to unload it so we can get it out to get those lower control arms off. So it says we're supposed to measure the distance between the threads here. 22.88. And then we have this tool. So there's a little notch in this bar to hold the tool. Doesn't take much. Just hand tight. It's loose, so I'll loosen this bolt. And this should slide out. There we go. Now we can just loosen this. That releases the tension.
So you've been moving stuff over to the new engine, trying to pull the transmission off now, right?
Yep.
Drop it onto this makeshift table. We have a slight crack in the bell housing. I don't know if that's a issue we want to work with or not, but yeah, let's pop this thing off. A lot easier outside the vehicle. And we're doing 2 engines at once, so it's kind of tight in here to be able to work around. Well, 3. 3 engines in here. Kind of tight to work around them all. How are you feeling about the project?
It's a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of balls in the air, but
You got a lot of small parts to take off to get in there, right?
yeah, and I'm trying to clean them up and paint them, and you know, I want to get the intake manifold off and get that painted so I can get it back on here and lift this engine up off the pallet.
Okay. So the manifold you're keeping, you gonna repaint it or powder coat, or what are you doing with
I'm
that?
gonna repaint it. Tired engine.
Very, very tired. 200,000 miles?
Roughly, yeah.
Probably not maintained very well for a good chunk of its life too, so.
Yeah, we don't know. All right, we got Loctite on our bolts. Got our tool here to center the clutch. So I'm getting ready to paint the intake manifold, getting her all taped up. I had previously painted the EGR valve, so I just taped that over, but I wanted to put it on. So I flipped it over to tape this surface just so it doesn't get paint on it. And I noticed that the EGR valve ports are completely plugged. That's hard. This one I touched and it caved in a little bit.
Oh, gross.
So
Do you think that the exhaust, oil in the exhaust may have contributed to that issue?
yeah, that is on the one that's the bad cylinder side, number 8.
Yep. What else you got going over here? You got a pile of stuff here for what, powder coater?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna spray the manifolds tomorrow, and we're gonna do the Corvair ones at the same time. So
With the VHT paint, right? The header
Yeah.
paint?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about the EGR valve stuff?
I'm gonna just hold that up and clean it out
Okay. Cool.
so it doesn't go down in there. Yesterday we got the headers for the Chevy painted up. We use this VHT flame-proof, very high temperature header paint, and then had to season them in the oven 3 times. Kind of stunk up the house, but they look pretty good. Yesterday we got the intake manifold painted up. Hopefully we'll get that back on the new engine soon. All right, we fabricated a little thing to push the torsion bars out. So at least we got it out of one side. And it's pulling it right out of the key, which is great. There's the torsion bar key. It looks like it was a little bit rusty. Here's the other one. Although there's quite a bit of grease in this one, it still looks like it was probably rusted on. Now we're going to try and get the torsion bar out of the control arm. Tried pounding on it, would not come out. So I've got a pipe wrench on the end here. Since the end of the torsion bar is bigger, I'm hoping that'll stay. 2 4x4s clamped together. 2 hydraulic jacks. Let's see what it does. And there we have it. A little bit of American ingenuity, and out she comes. All right, we have some new knuckles for the lower control arms. The ones that are in here are original because they have rivets in them. The first one I only drilled from one side, and it's really easy to get the drill bit a little bit off center, so I'm hoping going from both sides, it'll keep it more in the center through the rivet. All right, we heated this rivet up from this side, then use a chisel to pry it away from the cross member, and then a punch on the back side to push it out. And I think we can get a vice grip on it and it should just come out. There we go. So there's the rivet. They're just nasty to get out, but 1 down and 3 to go. Now I think we can just there it is. So
Sounds like you're at the end of the disassembly stage.
I am, yeah. Now it's clean the frame, start to put the other parts back on the engine, and then clean all the parts down here and get them painted up so we can put them back on.
All right.
So we have a Saab coming in here to get the engine pulled next weekend. So I want to get as much of the frame stuff done this week, because we're gonna have to push the truck out, which is gonna be interesting without front wheels, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. Till the next time when we're painting the frame, and press on.